What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and in this video we are going to be talking about my top tips for busting in Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. Whether you're busting alone or busting with friends, these are things that every buster should know, and these are things that I have learned over the course of roughly 30 hours in the game. As you can see, level 89, I am a master buster myself, but either way, let's jump into it. And one of the first and most important tips comes in gear customization. Now, I do want to note that pretty much regardless of what upgrades you get, almost any upgrade is going to be beneficial here. You know, almost like in every single time that you can get something, you know, you can see default arms over the pure selenium. I'm just getting more negatives, basically. I'm spreading out my negatives. The point I'm making here is as soon as you upgrade, as soon as you can get an upgrade, pick it up. Doesn't even matter what it is, you'll be able to fine-tune your upgrades later, but upgrades are always going to be worth it. Just to go over what I use personally, just to briefly kind of show my particular upgrades, these are my preferences. Reticular, the whip pulsar, when you unlock that, I like that a lot, quite useful. My PKE, very much set up for stuns, ghost traps. But the real tip here is in the base of the ghost trap. Now, at the start, you have the default base, and the default base, you know, you're gonna throw on out the trap, and then you're trying to tether the ghost, and you're getting them, and then you're like, wait, where's the trap at? Somebody open a trap, and then you're like, no, wait, I got a trap. Hang on, I'm trying to like get over there, and you're pulling, and you're trying to get it in the trap, and you're trying to right-click while you're pulling the ghost, and he's running all over. It's a whole lot of extra, and you can avoid all of that with the skid stop. Now, looking at this, you can see the skid stop is giving us a benefit to both trap settle speed as well as trap instant activation, and that is the real perk here that I want to point out. This thing is huge because you throw it out, boom, it just goes out, it deploys. You can use this to solo capture super easily. You can use this to get no tether caps, where you just throw the trap and it lands right under the ghost and the ghost gets sucked into it. I've done that quite a bit, and honestly I think it's probably one of the more potent upgrades in the game. So while you don't absolutely need it, getting access to that and unlocking that is a huge boon. And to pull that off, all you need to do is just level up your trap. You got to capture some ghosts first. So moving on into a busting match, we're just going to go in a bot match. Just bot matches, you just go select job, and then friends only or invite only. If you do that, it's always going to be a bot match, whereas quick play is going to put you against players or bots until players join. But let's jump on in and teach you the ultimate busting technique, the STT. Now, this is a technique that is not gear dependent, but it only gets better with upgrades. The STT is the Stun-Trap-Tether, and this is what I use to solo capture ghosts. If you check out the streams we did of the game on the channel, there have been quite a few solo captures. I've had matches where like I run on out and a ghost is capped within like 2 minutes. So, you know, this is a very strong way to play. There's not much a ghost can do against this. Stun, trap, tether.
There it is.
Just like that. And I know that was a bot we're playing against, but I mean, like I said, there are hours of streams on the channel where we have executed exactly what you just saw against players. It is a very effective technique. There's a couple things the ghost can do, but not much, and only the most experienced ghosts are really going to be able to get away from a Stun-Trap-Tether combo. Now, obviously, there's downtime with this, because doing a technique like this, you're throwing out the trap, so you do have some downtime waiting for your stun to come back up. In terms of practicing this, perhaps the most important thing is going to be your trap placement, because as soon as you stun, you want to toss the trap kind of closer to the ground. So like almost look down and toss, because if I'm just tossing it at the default, it's going to go out a little bit farther. If I do a quick glance to the ground, it's going to end up like right in front of me. And as a ghost, if I was going to avoid this, what I would try to do is sprint on through the buster, because busters are first person, ghosts are third. So sprint on through, slime, disorient them, have them looking around, figuring out, you know, when you went behind, did you go that way? Did you go that way? I want to have them guessing. So you want to get the trap to a spot where ideally it's closer to you, because if I do the stun and I throw the trap out like that, you know, the ghost is going to try to come towards me, and so it's going to be harder to push him back towards that trap. So food for thought there. We're gonna do a couple more of those quick captures in this mission as well. But the next thing I want to do is hunt down a rift and talk about solo rifting and why you should not do it. Right there. So you're exploring, you find a rift, and you're like, guys, there's a rift over here. Attack the ghost. I'm gonna kill this.
Boy.
Bad idea.
Massive rift over
Bad idea. Now the reason this is such a bad idea, let's see if the bot will actually do it. Well, all right. This bot is he's doing his fear bomb. Now I'm gonna be permanently feared.
Here comes the trap.
You're making me. You're gonna make me do this. Am I gonna have to? Okay, he went away. That's good. Anyway, the point I was gonna make is solo rifting is dangerous for a couple reasons. Going back to what I said about the ghost running through you, you're first person. So a skilled ghost, if I see someone solo rifting, just to simulate it, you know, if this guy's sitting here solo rifting, I'm just gonna come up behind him, I'm gonna disable his proton pack, I'm gonna take the rift and I'm gonna dip out. If he managed to damage the rift enough to where it could potentially explode, I'm gonna disable his proton pack and I'm gonna detonate the rift. And then, you know, once the rift's detonated, boom, that room's haunted, dude's in trouble, easy. So it's really dangerous to be rifting alone because of that exact reason. Now, if I am going to rift, let's say there's a rift inside this thing right here. What I want to do is we want to be across from each other. So what I mean by this is, like, my trap would be one buster, I would be busting from over here, my trap is a buster busting from there, and if we're both hitting this, I have a view of all of this over where he's at, he has a view of all of this, and that way if the ghost does come up and try to disable a proton pack, we're going to get an angle on him. The worst thing you can do is just all stack on top of each other when you're doing a rift, which there's usually one. Okay, it's not here, but there's usually a rift in this room. So let's just say it's at there. You know, I'll see times where I would come in here and it's a buster here, a buster here, a buster here, a buster here, and all four of them are just like, yeah, get the rift. And as a ghost, if I see that, I'm coming up and I'm just gonna disable your pack. Or actually, I would come up, I'd ulti all of you, and then I detonate the rift. But even if there's two people, if there's one person here and there's one person here, I'm just gonna walk up, disable pack, run on up, steal the rift, or detonate it, whatever I want to do, and you're sitting there trying to recover your pack looking like idiots. So, point being, never go after a rift alone, and on top of that, when you are rifting, make sure you have a cross section of each other. You know, he should be able to see my back, or he should be able to see my face while I see his face, so that neither of us can get ambushed from behind by a ghost. Very important. The next thing I want to talk about is releasing your tether early. So you'll notice right now that meter that's slowly ticking down, that is when he's going to break the tether. If I let go, he starts flying, but I could immediately tether him again. And this is what's important, because if instead I hang on the ghost until he breaks the tether, he is going to get a speed burst and he's going to get some iframes and he's going to zip away from me. So let me see, he should be like right here. I'm Batman.
Nothing in there. Ghost over there.
Also, you can see that reticle on the ground. That is what you need to line up with your trap. But anyway, look at the ghost right now and watch what he does here. You can see how he became ethereal. He also went instantly through me and slimed me. When a tether breaks, the ghost becomes ethereal for about 1.5 to 2 seconds. He gets a free sprint. He can go through you during that sprint, and he has iframes. So when you have a ghost tethered, if the tether is about to break, you are always better off releasing the tether and letting the ghost go, because somebody else could get another tether onto the ghost, versus just being like, I'm gonna get him, because if he breaks your tether, I mean, someone's getting slimed, he's gonna get iframes, he's not getting retethered, he's not going into a trap. So the point is, do not let tethers break. If it's about to break, always let go manually, because otherwise it's, you know, he's just gonna get you. With this, you know, obviously when it's pointing downward, that means there's a ghost nearby. When it's pointing upward, that means a rift's nearby. Man, the bot ghosts are not the brightest.
Quick, get it while it's
Stun trap. Tether. Oh, get in there. In there. I think he deposited a rift in there. Yeah, he did. On that note, if you have the ghost and you're at the last rift and he's about to spawn, a ghost spawning out of the rift will like explode out of it and damage you. So you don't want to let that happen. Now, like with a rift like this, I would get over here. I don't know. These bots are not smart. Come on, boys, let's get it.
Over there.
So when we're moving the ghost, you can see that reticle that's under him. It's better if I can get him in a higher area to really see.
It's here.
So you see that yellow reticle that's on the ground? Oh my god. My god, there's so much stuff happening. Stop it. Oh, the minions. On the note of minions, your trap, a trap will instantly kill minions if a trap's out. It'll just vacuum them up and take them out. So, little pro tip there. Don't be afraid to, like, if there's minions that show up, don't be afraid to just toss out your trap. Pop, 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 pop. Minions are gonna all be popping. So, here we go. I'm gonna hold him. You can see the reticle. That's what I want to aim to get on my trap, that little yellow reticle. But watch what happens here. So, if it breaks, he's going to tether through. I'll show you on the minions here. And see how fast the trap just instantly detonated those minions. No, you're not. Stop it. What are you doing? Stop it. Drop the rift. If a ghost tries to take a rift, just tethering him for like half a second forces him to drop the rift, which is what I did right there. So that made him drop the rift so that I could slow him down.
Got eyes on. Nothing in there. It's here.
So rift like this, I would get over here and hit it. I can't hop up there. Here we go. This way I can hit it and see where the ghost is coming in.
I can't believe that actually worked. I see it. I'm about to overheat.
To level up your trap.
It's getting a bit hot with my life.
Are you getting vacuumed in or not?
Time, won't you?
No, it's not, man. He's like right over it. If you're trying to level up your trap, I mean, at the end of the day, the most important thing is capturing the ghost, but a ghost needs to be captured in your trap for you to actually level the trap up. It doesn't matter who captures it if the ghost isn't going in the trap. Now watch this. Here we go. Hang on. See, we got the ghost. He's gonna come out. See, since that was the last rift, it's going to break out of that. It's going to knock us down, and that's what I wanted to point out. Is you can't just. Oh, he's dead. Wow. Basically, it's a little hard usually to camp the last rift and capture the ghost and get an easy force kill because the ghost is going to blow out of it. A player at least wouldn't let that happen. A player is gonna, you know, blow out of it, pop an ulti, down all of you. Bots are not the smartest. Almost creeping up on level 90. It definitely slows down once you get into the higher levels, man. Your XP starts to plummet. But so that was still a pretty good good match there to cover the basics. The Stun-Trap-Tether, you know, not solo rifting, always having a cross section of another buster, and then perhaps the most important thing, which I haven't talked about yet, very important. You know, whenever you're done busting, you always got to make sure you go down here and deposit your ghosts, because I mean, there's nothing worse than having a trap. Remember, you close the chamber, clear it, and neutralize it, flush the ghost. There you go. You're all done. But either way, we're gonna wrap things up here. Hopefully, these tips make y'all better busters. Just remember, Stun-Trap-Tether will carry you through 90% of your ghost busting experiences. But either way, we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to have a separate video that's going to be talking about busting techniques and like what you should do to bust. I'll see you then. Anyway, catch y'all later.